We are going to be talking about something very serious that a lot of people struggle with, and that is mental health today. If you've been around my channel, you know that that's something that I struggle with, and I just want to talk about that a little bit more in depth today. So if that's something that you struggle with or that you just want to watch, then that's what this video is going to be about, and I hope it helps someone along the way or just make people feel like they're not alone in their struggles. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hi guys, welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you've been around here a while. I'm Kendra, this is Kendra Creates. This is my space where I share my weight loss journey with you. Hopefully I can help you out along the way if you're on a weight loss journey. I also do commentary on a variety of topics including health, wellness, fitness, weight loss, stuff like that. And you'll also learn about me along the way, which we'll be doing today. And if that stuff sounds good to you, then make sure you are subscribed to my channel. So we're going to be talking about something serious today. And I just want to start it off by giving a little background on my situation. If you've been watching my videos recently, you know that I've been struggling. And mental health is something that I've always struggled with. I can remember being a child and being depressed and feeling anxious, but I didn't know what those things were. I've also, as a child, I can remember just crying myself to sleep at night, having night terrors, just not being able to cope with the life that I had, because it has not been a good one. So because of that, I talked a little bit about in some of my videos how I use food as a coping mechanism. Makes me feel good because it tastes good. And when you don't have a lot of people in your life that make you feel good, what do? You find something else that makes you feel good, and it happened to be food. So I always struggle with my mental health. I never got help for it until I became an adult. When I got my first big girl job, I was in my career. I had actual health insurance. I finally sought out counseling, and I saw a psychiatrist. So it was my first time getting counseling. It was my first time on psych meds. I had suffered a very extreme depressive episode. I had moved for that job, so I was isolated, and that job was like in the middle of nowhere. And then my personality, which is very introverted, I don't make friends easily. I don't create connections like that with people. And people take that as me being rude, standoffish, being a bitch, whatever, I don't know. So I was being workplace bullied because people were offended that I wasn't being their friend. Yeah, these were like grown adults. And so I can remember every time walking up the stairs to go to work, like my stomach dropping, and it was just so freaking depressive. And so to deal with that, I started working on my mental health, and it was amazing. I had got up to about 350 pounds at that time, and then I wound up getting down to about 215-ish over the course of like 2 years or whatever. But that was just the first of many eras of depression in my life. Me not being able to cope with my emotions and using food as a coping mechanism, and me not caring about myself, my health, my life, my well-being. And now I know how to spot the warning signs, before I spiral out of control. This was just like my first major depressive episode. There have been a couple over my life that I'm sure eventually I'll talk about. But that's just kind of the first time I really got help, and I just really improved my life and myself. And so that's kind of where I am right now. I'm in the process of seeking help. Now, you guys know that I'm on a weight loss journey, and so it's very hard trying to juggle being in a routine, eating right, taking care of yourself, making sure you're drinking your water, getting your sleep, doing all these things that you need to do to lose weight, and then also being depressed and sad and anxious and having poor sleep quality and feeling isolated and everything else under the sun that you can feel, feeling misunderstood, feeling like you have nobody because you don't. Just feeling a lot of feelings and not having access to the tools, the resources, the help that you need. And, it's like I get on here and I talk all the time about, getting help for your problems and figuring out what your problems are. And I put it like this, it's a lot easier said than done. And so that's where I kind of am right now. Like I'm in the process of getting help. So I've recently, well, not even recently, it was a couple months ago, I toyed with the idea of seeing a psychiatrist again. And I should have just made the psychiatrist appointment when that thought first popped in my mind. But of course, I want to be like superhero and I want to think that I'm okay and I want to think that I got everything under control, and I decided not to do that when I knew that I should have done that. Because I just called and I was not able to get an appointment until July. So yeah, I have to be with this feeling that I'm feeling right now for another 5 months. And I think this is a testament to how the healthcare system, especially around mental health, is just broken. And I say that because I have good health insurance. They cover freaking weight loss drugs. It's good health insurance. And not only that, but I go to one of the largest medical groups in the city. I live in the city of Chicago. It is the third largest city in the United States. I think it's the third largest. Or fourth largest. It's pretty freaking big, right? And so you would think that being in one of the largest cities in America, going to one of the largest medical groups in the city, having pretty good health care, you would think that I have access to mental health resources that maybe other people don't. Wrong. So I call to make my appointment, and the lady is like, so we're only accepting patients who already have a primary physician in network. And I was like, yeah, I do. Actually, she wrote me a referral for psychiatry. And she was like, okay, great. And I was like, what? So not only are they taking a very long time to see people, but they're putting restrictions on who they see. And I was like, dang. So this is really a problem. And so not only did she tell me that, she also told me, well, we right now only have 2 providers available. What? How do you only have 2 providers available and you're literally the largest medical group in the city? 2 providers. One of them being a psychiatrist and one of them being a psychiatric nurse, which nothing is wrong with that at all. But I'm assuming for more complex situations, you probably need to see a psychiatrist, And I took the first available appointment and it was with a psychiatric nurse. Only God knows how long an appointment is to see the actual psychiatrist that they have there. So I was like, wow, I wonder if it's any better if I can try to see someone else. So I contact my insurance. They give me all the in-network providers or whatever. And half of the freaking in-network, no, more than half, I would say about 90% of the in-network providers are affiliated with that group. But they no longer provide psychiatric services. Because remember, there are only 2 providers that are seeing patients, new patients. So I happened to come across another clinic or whatever. So I called them and they also said the same thing. They only see people that already have established care with them. And I was like, okay, cool. Because I don't have established care with them. I don't have a primary physician with them. Like, I don't even know who they are. I just was like, I want to see a psychiatrist. But I find that, I guess that's how they doing it, behavioral health these days. Because I can remember I was referred to this one practice for postpartum depression. And when I saw that practice, they also provided psychiatric care and also counseling services. But in order for you to use their services, you had to do their program, which included the counseling and the psychiatric care, which is fine to me. I was doing both. But then, oh my God, y'all, the counseling. So I know that a lot of people are nervous, scared, worried, anxious, or whatever about seeing a counselor. And so the thing with counseling is that you just have to keep on going to providers until you find one that's right for you or that meshes well with you. And I think that that's my problem. Since I've been in the city of Chicago, I have saw about 5 counselors, and I have yet to find one that meshes well with me. I had a really excellent one back home. This was the one that I utilized for my second go round with extreme weight loss. Yeah, she was excellent. But when I moved, I couldn't utilize her anymore. So I utilized these services when I had postpartum depression. And the counselor that I saw, she at first was great. She was kind of like a younger lady, which was kind of good with me. So she kind of understood where I was coming from in that situation. And then she was also a lady from a certain faith and also a certain culture. And so she could understand some issues I had around in that whole aspect. Fine, great. So I'm going through all of this stuff. I'm continuing to see her. And then my husband's grandmother passes away. And so he goes back to India to be with his family. And he was only supposed to be gone for like a month, but he wound up extending the stay. Me and baby wound up joining him over there. That's another long story. But while he was gone, it was just me and baby. And we were here by ourselves and it was fine or whatever. And so one counseling session, I was talking to her and she understood our whole background, just how I was struggling with the baby and postpartum and all that kind of stuff. And so she makes this suggestion as far as, like getting out of the house and doing things and, doing things with the baby and stuff like that, which is, I'm all for that. And she said something to me that I really didn't like. And so I just stopped going to her. And I'll tell you what it was. So there had already previously been an agreement between me and my husband on how we would raise our child. And so one of those things was in regards to celebrating certain holidays. And so she wanted me to do something with my child for Halloween. And I'm like, ma'am, I already said that we're not doing anything for Halloween. And she was like, yeah, but your husband's not here. So, what he doesn't know won't hurt him or something like that, she said. And it just rubbed me the entire wrong way and I was done. But because I didn't utilize their counseling services, I could no longer utilize their psychiatry services. Yeah, that actually happened. Like legit happened. All of that. So I'm a little jaded with the behavioral healthcare system here in the city of Chicago and also the country of America. And so right now I have my psychiatry appointment set. I also had an appointment set to meet with a health psychologist. And this was something that is part of my obesity management care team. They do referrals to healthcare psychologists. And so hopefully that appointment isn't even until June. And I had to reschedule that appointment in January when I went to Paris. And so when they rescheduled, the only time they had was in June. So I'm waiting on June to come so I can see a health psychologist. And hopefully they can get down to the answers with my eating situation and get some answer to that and some help with that. Because if you guys don't know my background, like I talked about, using food to cope, and even lately I've been using food to cope. I've talked about that. Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not a good situation at all. It's not good. And it's just like, okay, how do you cope? So right now I am trying to see a counselor. And the way that my insurance and everything is set up, I have a lot of in-network providers. And so the way that my work is set up, we also have an EAP. Check through your job to see if you have an EAP, which is an employee assistance program. And they usually offer free counseling. And they've actually switched our EAP providers just recently. So I was finding counselors through them before that I had saw here in the city. None of those worked out. So maybe this new EAP has given me a good counselor. I have set my appointment with them, and that appointment is scheduled for the first week of March, which I'm happy about, I guess, or excited about. I don't know, nervous about, I don't know. So I do have my appointment set with them. And the good thing that the EAP did for me was they matched up providers that also take my insurance. So if I go beyond my free counseling sessions, then I can use my insurance to continue seeing that person. And if I mesh well with that person and they are a good match for me, I definitely foresee me taking advantage of more than the 10 free sessions that my employer has provided us. And I will say that 10 session is a lot. I've, throughout the years, have taken advantage of EAPs at several different jobs. And this is the job that has provided the most sessions for free, like ever. Usually it's like 3 or 5. I think the most I've ever gotten was maybe 5 or 6. Yeah, 10 is a lot. Yeah, so that's kind of where I am with my mental health and everything. I have an appointment set to see a psychiatrist. I have an appointment set to see a health psychologist. And then I also have an appointment set to see a therapist. Yeah, I feel good about all of that, but I don't feel good about how I'm coping with everything. I don't. And I don't feel that I'm coping really well with everything. And I say that because I am binging on food and I'm not giving a damn. Like, I try to care for the most part, I'd say, because I am still going to the gym. I'm going to work. I'm looking presentable at work. You know, I'm not neglecting my parenting responsibilities. Like, I'm functioning, but then I'm also doing things that are not conducive to my health. You know, overeating and eating those highly palatable, refined sugar foods is just not conducive to my health. And I don't know. It's just like, what do you do? You know? It's just like, you can say, well, just don't eat it, or just don't buy it, or just don't have it in your house, or whatever you can say. But I do live with other people, and they do like to have snacks. So I don't know. I don't know what I do. I don't know what the hell I do. I'm not a mental health counselor. I'm not a mental health professional. I don't know how to talk myself out of the issues that I'm having right now. Like, I don't know how to help myself. You know, all I can do is try to seek out the help of professionals in the field. And right now, you know, it's going to be months before I am prescribed any kind of medication. And I know that I've talked to people who are like, you can see your primary care physician or your gynecologist, and they should be able to prescribe you psych meds, which they can, because my gynecologist, she did that before until I was able to see a psychiatrist for my PPD. But I feel like I need another diagnosis, to be honest with you, and I feel like I need to try some new meds, because all they're going to do is prescribe whatever you've been prescribed in the past. That's all they're going to do. They're not going to try anything new out because they're not a psychiatrist. And if I feel like something didn't work for me, or something affected me negatively or poorly, or something, like I said, had no effect on me at all, like, why would I take that medicine again? You know? So I kind of think that I need to be prescribed something else that I've never taken before. But it's like, what do you do at this point in time? I don't know. So I don't know where I am with everything in my life. I'm just still trying to be in a routine. I'm still trying to cope. I'm still trying to like tend to my responsibilities because I'm an adult. I'm a grown adult. And the world doesn't stop because I'm having a rough time, unfortunately, and I don't have a support system. So, it's like, what do? I just kind of do what I've been programmed to do my entire life. And that is just me deal with it on my own. I don't deal with it good. Like, I don't. Obviously, that's how I got up to 352 pounds. That's how I got up to 386 pounds, because I don't deal with it good, So I'm seeking out professionals that can assist with that. But, my care is going to be delayed for a while. But hopefully within this next week, me seeing a therapist, hopefully the therapist is good, But if that person isn't good, then I'll just have to keep trying therapist after therapist until I can find one that helps me and one that I mesh well with. I want to hear from you guys. If you or someone has struggled with their mental health, I want to hear what your experiences are. Leave them in the comment box below. If you have any questions for me, I would like to answer those questions. I don't know how I can, because now I feel like I always have the answers. Like, I always have the answers. And I feel like in this situation, I don't have the answers. And I also feel kind of helpless because, like, every way that I've coped with this in the past has been awful. So it's just like, okay, how do you cope with something that you don't know how to? I don't know how to cope with this. Like, I don't. And I feel like in order for me to be successful on my weight loss journey, like, I have to learn how to cope with this, because this is something that is never going away. I am never not going to struggle with depression. I am never not going to revert to my old ways of coping. So I'd be interested to see what this health psychologist person has to say. But unfortunately, I won't see them until June. Oh, y'all. Okay. All right. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. So hopefully you guys have something to say. If you just want to drop a heart comment or a hug emoji or a sad face emoji or whatever you want to drop, in just support of me or support of anyone struggling with their mental health, I would appreciate that. Or if you want to actually say kind words, you can, or whatever. But I'm definitely going to give an update. And I'm going to be talking about my first counseling session, and I want to see how this thing plays out. And hopefully I will have a new permanent therapist in the city. So that's something that I can look happily forward to. So you guys, this has been a rough one for me. So you guys keep me in your thoughts, prayers, well wishes, because I'm gonna need it. I don't know if you like this video, but if you found it interesting or something that you can relate to, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you are not, so you can get these updates from me about this whole ordeal I'm going through right now. And make sure you continue to spread kindness in a world full of hate, because you don't know what people are going through. Like right now, I'm smiling, right? But that's only so that I won't start crying on this video. And I will see you guys on the next time. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Bye-bye.